Hi dancers, Miss Kimberly's here for story time again. This story day, we're not going to move at all. This is just a nice storybook about a grandma and her granddaughter, Harriet, and a very special birthday gift that she gives her. It's called The Bear That Went to the Ballet, and it was written by Jean Richardson. Harriet's grandmother was a genius at giving presents. They were always very special and always what Harriet wanted the most. And the present Grandma gave her for her 7th birthday was so carefully wrapped that Harriet couldn't guess what was inside. Was it a doll? Was it a book? Maybe a game? Harriet tore off the paper and found a bear. But not just any bear. Grandma had dressed her as a ballerina in a beautiful dancer's skirt. A little crown of white flowers was perched on her head, and on her feet was a pair of beautiful pink ballet shoes, just like the one Harriet wore at her dancing class. Grandma had also made her a turquoise tutu and some practice clothes. The bear was holding an envelope in her paws, and on the outside it said, "Happy birthday! Here are tickets for the ballet. Please take me with you." Harriet was so thrilled to find that the tickets were for the show Sleeping Beauty. Have you seen Sleeping Beauty? The ballet was wonderful. The bear sat on Harriet's lap, and they both clapped and clapped as the ballerina and her prince took lots of curtain calls and bows. When Harriet got home, before she went to bed, she put the bear with her other toys. The toys looked at the little bear's skirt. They looked at her satin ballet shoes with the pink ribbon, and they looked at her crown of white flowers. "Who do you think you are?" said the oldest doll. "I'm a ballerina bear," said the little bear shyly. The toys laughed and laughed. "A ballerina bear? How can a bear be a ballerina? What a silly name for a little silly bear." "Ballerinas dance," said the oldest doll, who knew everything. "Let's see you dance." "I'm too tired," said the bear, and she covered her face with her paws and she pretended to fall asleep. But long after all the other toys had shut their eyes, she was still very awake and very worried. Grandma might have dressed her as a ballerina, but she never showed her how to dance. All the next day, the bear worried about how she was going to tell the toys that she could not dance, and she was so afraid that they would laugh at her even more. Perhaps the answer was to learn how, but where was she going to do it, and how? She was still puzzling over this when Harriet came to her rescue. "Come on, it's time for my dancing class," she said. "Let's put on our practice clothes. I don't want to go without you." It was as though Harriet could read her thoughts. And I know some of you dancers have brought your pet bears and your dolls to dance class before. Ballerina Bear watched all of the teacher's movements very carefully. The class was practicing the 5 positions that every dancer needs to know. The bear tried to copy them, but her feet refused to turn out or cross over. We know in pre-dance that position, what is that? First position? And we know second position, right? Then the class moved to the bar and practiced bending and stretching. The bear tried stretching her arms, but her paws were too short to make a beautiful circle over her head like we do in high fifth. And she liked it best when everybody ran around pretending to be trees waving in the breeze. She was sure she could do that. I know my pre-dancers, we run like the wind, don't we, in class? That night, the toys started teasing her again. "Oh, she thinks she's someone special with her ballet skirt," said the bear. "Fancy wearing flowers in your hair," said the clown. "Let's see you stand on your toes," demanded the elephant rudely. The little bear felt so sad. She did so want to make friends. "We're having a party on Friday," said the oldest doll, "and we thought you could dance for us. I hope you won't be too tired then." Ballerina Bear did not know what to say. So the next day she tried a plie, but her knees wouldn't bend. We know how to plie. And she tried to balance on one leg, but she wobbled and wobbled. Do you remember what that's called? Arabesque. And then she tried to stand on her tiptoes like our releve, but she fell flat on her back. Finally, she sat on the floor and cried, "Why am I dressed like a ballerina if I can't dance?" She didn't know the answer and she felt very sorry for herself, and all she could think of doing was hiding so that no one could find her. Harriet looked everywhere for her bear, under her bed, in the closet, in the bathroom, and finally she found her under the couch. "You silly bear," she said, dusting the bear's fur off. "I've been looking for you everywhere. Why are you hiding and looking so sad? Grandma sent us some tickets for the ballet on Saturday." "Harriet doesn't want me to dance," thought the bear, feeling a little more cheerful. "I'm her ballerina bear because I get to go to the ballet with her." And then she had an idea. The dolls had gone to great trouble for the party. They'd got out the best tea set and found some fizzy lemonade that they called champagne. There were also some potato chips and some crumbs left over from Harriet's birthday cake. Ooh, the bear felt far too nervous to eat anything. She was wearing her turquoise tutu, and the stiff little skirt made her look like a real ballerina, just like your costumes will. If her great idea didn't work, she thought, she'd have to run away. Suddenly, the oldest doll clapped her hands and everyone stopped talking. "Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ballerina Bear is going to dance for us." The toys sat around in a circle, and the bear stepped into the middle and took a little curtsy. "I'm not a dancer," she said bravely. "Grandma dressed me as a ballerina because Harriet loves dancing and going to the ballet. She took me to see Sleeping Beauty, and I'd like to tell you the story of the ballet." All the toys knew the fairy tale, but the bear made them see it as a ballet. When she told them about the baby princess's christening, she described the different dances of all the fairies who attended, including the wicked fairy who casts an evil spell on the princess. She told them about the ball to celebrate the birthday of the princess, at which she pricked her finger and fell asleep, and so did everyone else. She told them how the princess was woken up by the kiss of a handsome prince. Finally, she described the happy ending when the princess's very favorite fairy tale characters danced at her wedding to the prince. And when the bear had finished, at first the toys were very quiet, and as if someone had put a magical spell on them too. And then they stood up and clapped and cheered as though they were also at the real performance. "Thank you," said the oldest doll, when at last the cheering had died down. "You gave a wonderful performance. You are a real ballerina bear. But it's such a long name for a little bear. So we are going to call you Tutu." The bear nodded. She was so happy. "And now let's dance," said the oldest doll. So they all chose partners and began to waltz. Even Tutu, who could do something so simple. When the toys heard that Harriet and Tutu were going to the ballet again, they all crowded around the window to wave as they set off for the theater. They said, "We want to know everything that happens," and Tutu promised to tell them. She was wearing her turquoise tutu and a sparkling tiara and felt very important. She was sure that she would be the only ballerina bear at the ballet. And hopefully, in a couple months, we're going to get back together in our theater and put on our show. I hope you liked Ballerina Bear. I'll see you next time. Bye.